Alright, let's see what I'm playing this time. Looks like the Incredible Hulk, brought by US Gold and Probe and stuff. So anyway, I've been sharing stories about ghosts and hauntings and spirits and all that fun stuff. Turns into the Green Monster Hulk thing. You know what, I've never really been a big fan of the Hulk. But hey, I give it a try. And actually, this is my second attempt at playing this because I don't know what happened last time, but I thought I was hitting record, and obviously I guess I did not record it because there was not a video created of me playing this. And I'm sad that it did not record because, you know, it was a lot shorter and I didn't play it for very long, maybe 15 minutes max. I'll get a lot farther this time because I know what I'm doing, kind of. Anyway, let's see. So I get farther than last time, doing everything out of kind of order, but I got this is starting off, three, kind of let's plays. This one is lengthy, but you'll see how far I get. Next time I play it, I'll be cheating the shit out of it. So anyway, give it a shot at it without codes, and I make some progress. This Kuni game, it's not that good. It sucks, actually. It's okay, but it sucks. It's okay compared to a lot of other games that are like this from back then. So anyway, more ghost stories. Let's see. What's another good one? Mom always said there was like spirits and ghosts, but you know, it's hard to tell from other people's stories. You gotta tell your own experiences. So let's see, another one of my personal experiences. Let's see. So, I know I've had it happen at least twice, but I recall the one time, I remember it was quite some time after we did find out that our neighbor had passed. She was an older lady, so, you know, it was kind of any time now, any day. She was nice. She made candies. I mean, they were, you know, she made cookies or brownies or something. They weren't the best, but they were edible. They were okay. So anyway, every once in a while we'd go over there, the neighborhood kids and all that good stuff, do chores or, you know, rake some leaves for some candies and snacks or whatever. So anyway, so sometime after she passed, I want to say a year-ish, give or take some, whatever. I was in my room, and I think I was just cleaning that day or something. I had some crappy CD player stereo thing that was given to me. It was just junk anyway. And the CD player wasn't quite working, so I was like kind of punching and beating on it and still didn't fix it. Back then, you know, only thing you know is how to punch and kick stuff to get it to work or blow on it. Like, hey, those NES cartridges. All you had to do is blow on it and maybe it worked. Maybe. You find out later on after all the years that pass and you find out, hey, it probably wasn't even that. It was just like the little pin thing that, you know, you slip into the cartridge or whatever. Anyway, so I'm just chilling there trying to get it to work. And I just get like a shadow that comes over me. Like I'm just enveloped in a shadow. And I turn around, nobody's there. I'm just by myself. And that kind of spooked me out, and I stood up. And it was like something flicked. Because I had these like little crappy pumpkin orange things from Halloween hanging up in my room. And it seemed like someone just flicked it. Like, you know, just flicked it. And that spooked the shit out of me. I stayed out of my room for like a half hour, even though I was still trying to clean. And that was it of that. Oh, what else? I have a couple more stories, I think. I know I do. I'm trying to remember, though. I do remember, this wasn't so much more of a haunting. Oh yeah, I have a good one coming up. This wasn't so much more of a haunting, I think it was more of a dream. But, you know, we can still say, you know, it was a dream, spirit, visitation thing, whatever. So anyway, back in 2008, you know, I was always partying all the time, always high, always drunk. Wasn't always home, was staying gone most of the time. Because at that time I couldn't really spend a whole lot of time with my girlfriend, and I still had friends, so all we did was drink and party. So I think during then I was hanging over at my friend's house, just staying gone most of the time. And one of our oldest cats passed away. And I was kind of sad. Well, not passed away, we had her put down, but she was kind of old. She couldn't really walk. She didn't really, you know, have much of an appetite. She was, I don't know if she was 16 or 18, but she was elderly. She was the grandma of the house. She was the grandma kitty. So anyway, Mom had her put down. I'm kind of sad because I rather would have taken her myself because she was kind of my cat. I named her Paw. She was such a sweetheart. Even during my whole stage of, you know, beating the shit out of cats and, you know, bullying them, because I would always be picked on, and then I'd come home and pick on the cats to take out my aggression and frustration. And, I feel bad about that. But no matter what, she was always a sweetheart, and she was always nice to me. You know, she'd come in my room and sleep on my feet, or, you know, come cuddle up with me. She was very, very, very forgiving. And she was such a good cat. She was a sweetheart. So anyway, I want to say within a week, maybe it was a week, it could have been a month, but I know it was sometime after I found that out, in a dream where she came into my room, and she meowed at me, and, you know, just stood there and meowed at me and looked at me, and turned around and walked away. And she, like, had this, like, little outline around her. She was transparent. And, you know, in dreams, everything's blurry anyway. She was, like, glowing, and that was it. That kind of makes me sad. I wish I got to say goodbye to her. Well, that was kind of my goodbye. Oh, I miss you. And, you know, I'll see you again soon. Maybe you'll reincarnate into another one of our kitties that comes along, because Mom brought home too many damn cats. So anyway, she was such a sweetheart, and, you know, she turned around, and that was pretty much dream melted into something else, and I went into the dream of something. So anyway, that could have been another spirit thing. Anyway, I do have a good one now. I'm trying to remember. I know I've had multiple ones, but I don't always recall them all. So another time, let's see. Yeah, last Thanksgiving, I stayed at my dad's because we were working on my car at his wife's brother's place. Because he has a garage, he has a lift, heated garage and lift, so that's excellent. So anyway, we were working on my car the day after Thanksgiving, but I stayed there the night. I didn't really want to. I was trying to find an excuse not to because they don't have an internet, and I have stuff to do. So anyway, I ended up staying the night reluctantly, and when I stayed the night, I stayed in a bedroom. You know, I stayed in one of the bedrooms, slept in the bed, and so anyway, I'm sleeping, and I wake up to like the sound of like maybe metal, like, you know, if you take a coin or something metallic and tap it on metal. Well, they had a bunch of broken air conditioners, like 4 or 5, whatever, just sitting down at the end of the bed and whatever. So anyway, I wake up and I hear this tapping that was like a metal and metal on metal, and I'm like, I'm in this room alone. So anyway, I kind of open my eyes and look up a little bit, but I'm in the room alone. There's nothing in there, and it keeps going on. And then I kind of hear a shuffling, and the door was closed. Then it sounded like the door opened and closed, and somebody walked out in the hallway, and there was like footsteps. and like shuffling. And that was kind of spooky. But I wasn't there alone, and I was really fucking spooked out at that point. But I didn't quite do anything. So anyway, let it go on and stuff. And, you know, I just laid there. Oh yeah, before I walked out of the room, because I had my head out, showing the blankets and everything, I was laying on my back. And the blankets were lifted up and pressed into my face. And, like, pressed into it, like it was smothering me. But, you know, it wasn't so much to the point where I couldn't breathe. It was just, like, over my face and pushed into my face. I didn't feel like a hand was doing it, just, you know. So, anyway, after it went over my face, then, you know, I heard it shuffle and walk out of the room, make some noise in the hallway, like tap on the wall or something. And, you know, that eventually stopped. Which was very fucking spooky, very fucking weird. And I just laid there. I was like, shit. I was freaked the fuck out. Laid there for maybe a half hour, I want to say. The sun was coming up. It was getting brighter. But I eventually fell back asleep for a bit. So anyway, that passes, and, you know, get on with my day and go with my dad and go take care of working on my car. And I didn't want to spend the night again. I think I got out of it somehow. I think. So anyway, later on, you know, I'm running errands with my dad. I don't remember if it was then or if it was like a few days later or like a week later, a month later. Anyway, I tell my dad about it. You know, just normal conversation. Because, hey, you know, I don't go out of my way for spirits. I'm kind of skeptical about it, rather skeptical. You know, I need proof, otherwise, you know, I'm not going to believe it. So anyway, I tell my dad about it, and he's like, well... Then he tells me a story of how his wife's father was getting sick and old and, you know, stuff, and... He died in that room, in that bed I was sleeping in. And I was quite spooked out about that. And if I recall, I did meet her father, which is weird. But anyway, he said, you know, he died in that room, in that bed. I don't remember if it was like 6 months or something, if it was earlier in 2010, or if it was in 2009. Yeah, he died in that room, in that bed. And that could have been a spirit that was, you know, fucking with me. Anyway, that was spooky as hell. Nobody really believed me when I talked about it. Maybe my dad did, maybe he didn't, but that was still spooky as fuck. Anyway, I think that's most of my ghost stories right there that I've covered over these past couple of videos. You know, to keep the topic rolling, to keep talking about something, otherwise I sit here a lot of quiet time, a lot of, you know, blah blah, yeah, okay, whatever, trying to figure out what to talk about. So anyway, interesting story right there. Yeah, maybe I can come up with more stories, but as far as I know, that's all the stories I have off the top of my head. Maybe I'll get into some more stories in some next videos related to all that stuff. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like this video, subscribe, share the Homeless Gamer videos with everybody you know, and hopefully they subscribe and watch the videos too. But thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.